This is Gordon. What's up, Gordon? He says, hey guys, thanks again for helping us customers. Your generosity is greatly appreciated. Thank you, Gordon. He says, last week someone asked a question about whether or not it was more difficult to rank a new site for a local business niche and location if you didn't want to set up a related GMB listing, but your answer was about local organic rankings in general and did not address the GMB question. If you want to rank a new site for a local business niche and location, if you didn't want to set up a related GMB listing, but your answer was about local organic rankings in general and did not address the GMB question. Okay, I'm not sure how those are two separate things, but could you please comment on whether it's more difficult or the same difficulty to organically rank a new site locally without setting up a related GMB listing? I think you misunderstood my explanation, so I'm going to try to explain it again, but it's going to be the same explanation. So maybe Marco can chime in here in just a moment and reword it or convey what I'm trying to convey in a different way that makes more sense to you. But it's the same answer that I'm going to give you before. The problem with ranking a local site or a site for local keywords is that in the organic section, instead of in maps, is that you're competing with a lot of directory style sites now, which are highly authoritative, very aged domains typically, which carry a lot of inherent authority. And it's very difficult to outrank them. Depending on the locations, obviously, if it's more of a smaller area, then you can typically get much better results because they're not, if you're targeting like neighborhoods or suburbs, those kind of things, you can usually get much, much faster results, similarly to what you could within maps. But I'm talking about in the organic section because a lot of the times the directory sites are not optimized for any of those smaller areas, right? They're optimized for the greater metropolitan area, right? Which is an all-encompassing type of keyword, location modifier, so to speak. But when you're talking about trying to rank organically for, like, again, I'm going to use Fairfax, Virginia, because that's a big area, a very competitive SEO area for SEO in Virginia. So Fairfax, Virginia, if you were trying to rank for like plumber or plumbing contractor, Fairfax, Virginia, again, and I'll prove it. We'll go just do a quick search. If I said, plumbing contractor, and I always use contractors, guys, but that's because that's primarily what I've done for the last 10 years. If I say Fairfax plumbing, plumbing contractor, Fairfax, VA, what do you see here? Yelp, Home Advisor.
Hey, Bradley.
Go ahead.
Even before you get to the organic, can you scroll back up?
Yeah, look. Right. You got, it depends on the industry, but Google guarantees for a lot of professionals.
Yeah. Then
ads.
Then another
maps. Ad. Yeah. And then what do you get? Then you get 3 directories in a row. Then you get a company that's been around for a long damn time. John C. Flood's a big contractor up in that area. Then you get another directory. Then another really aged authoritative type site. That company's been around. Then another directory. You see what I'm saying about this? Out of the top 10, it looks like 7 of them in the organic section, which is already buried by Google guarantee, ads, and maps. It looks like 7 out of the top 10 organic rankings are of other directories. So again, I'm not talking about GMB stuff. I'm talking about organic rankings. Can you rank a site for local terms in the organic section? Yes, but it's a dogfight is what I'm telling you. Yes, you can. And it depends on the location modifier that you're trying to rank for, right? If Fairfax is a broad, because look, listen, like in this example, Fairfax is a county. Fairfax is a county, but it's also, there's the city of Fairfax too, but there's 23 locations within Fairfax County, like Vienna and Oakton and Tyson's Corner. And so trying to rank for those would be much easier. It's still relatively hard or difficult, but trying to rank for like plumbing contractor Vienna, Virginia is going to be easier than trying to rank for plumbing contractor Fairfax, because that's essentially targeting the whole county or the city. But either way, it's basically one and the same. They're synonymous, right? And so my point is, it's very, very difficult to do that. And that's because Google is, for whatever reason, they're promoting index pages of other directories on their primary index page 1, which, remember, Google's nothing other than an index of listings. And so what happens when you click through to this? It's an index page on Yelp for plumbers in Fairfax, which I think is stupid, right? Like you go from one index to another. I think that's dumb, but it is what it is. And so again, like I said, that's why I've shifted years ago. I shifted away from trying to rank organically to just sticking to maps, because again, look at it, like that always came up first. It tended to be a lot easier to rank for maps than it did for organic. But yet, can it be done? Yes. But you're in for a dogfight. That's all I'm saying. So I don't know if I explained that any differently than I did last week. Marco, do you want to take a stab at it?
No, that was perfect, because all I added to what you said was the amount of power that you'd have to push. I mean, how do you explain the amount of power to take down Yelp and the amount of work that you have to do? And is it going to be worthwhile going for that? It could be for your contractor, but you may not be getting paid enough to get you paid back for the work that you have to do to get there. I know that you have to push massive amounts of power. We have ways where you can push massive amounts of power, but it's going to require more money than most local people are willing to pay.
That's correct. That's the point. With the right budget, then yeah, you could do it. There's no question. But a lot of times trying to, like, because these, like the plumbers here that I'm talking about, like John C. Flood and FH Fur, they're big established companies that they've got they've got deep marketing budgets, like deep pockets. You know what I mean? So, if you're trying to get in a foot in the door with a smaller company, a newer company, whatever, that's got a smaller marketing budget, there's really no way to compete with that. I mean, you can, but it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of effort. And it's not going to, again, Marco's absolutely correct. They're likely, that's weird how they turned black now. But they're likely not going to have, pay you enough for the amount of effort that you're putting in. Does that make sense? And if they give you if you have a smaller budget to work with, then it could possibly still be done, but it's going to require more time, because you're going to have to stretch, do a little bit at a time, because that's all the budget allows. And chances are you're going to lose the client before you ever get them results, because it's taking too long. But it's hard to explain. I know, because especially, again, I don't know that you're dealing with contractors, but I've dealt with a lot of smaller contractors. In fact, that was my primary client base for the last 10 years, is smaller contractors. And so it's difficult to, explain to a contractor, and it's like banging your head against a wall when you say, listen, if you want to get results really, really quickly, I'm going to need more money. They say, I don't have any more money, but I want you to get me results right away. If you got me results, I'd have more money. Well, I can't get your results without more money. And it's like, who's on first? You know what I mean? It's that whole chicken and the egg type thing, cart before the horse and that kind of stuff. So again, I don't know if I explained it any different, but there you go.